Welcome! In front of me is a Xiaomi Redmi Note 13 Pro, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So to get started, let's open up our settings. There we go. And we can navigate to start off with to the display section. Here we have dark and light mode as one of the options. Now this was visible throughout the setup process, so I'm not really going to go into that, but below that we have a scheduled dark mode. When enabled, it gives you the two options to have it set from either sunset to sunrise, which will automatically switch between these two modes, or on a custom timer. And basically, whatever you choose, the device at that point will be switching from light to dark mode and vice versa, giving you best of both worlds. Going back, we have another thing, which is the screen refresh rate right here, and by default it is set to audibly named default option. Now this one is actually both refresh rates at the same time, so it's using 120 and 60. I don't think this device has an LTPO display, so it doesn't go anywhere below 60. I'm actually gonna check. Yep, there is no LTPO, unfortunately. So whatever we have set right here basically will be the option that you've chosen. So the default, to explain it, runs at 120 Hz refresh rate when there is a moving content, for instance like this ball jumping throughout the screen. Once there is nothing moving on a screen, like a static page like this one, it drops down to 60 to preserve battery life. Now, for the people that just want to preserve battery life, maybe you do a lot of book reading on your phone, you might be actually interested in selecting custom and changing it to 60, which will then reduce the screen refresh rate to 60 to be running all the time. So you won't have that nice eye candy battery smooth motion, but your battery might last a little bit longer, and that will be obviously very beneficial, especially if you're reading books. You won't really care about that refresh rate. It basically will not affect you whatsoever, but you might actually see some battery improvement. But I do prefer it to be on an eye candy, so that's what I'm going to select. Now, moving on to the option that was above, which is the color scheme. Here we have several different options to choose from. So this is for people that just want to maybe tone down the colors of their device. All the devices do basically come with the more saturated mode enabled, which is to be expected when you're looking at a device in the store next to dozen other phones, different brands. You probably will pay attention to the one that has the most vibrant display, which is what's gonna catch your eye. So that's why we have always the vivid mode, but I personally, if you're the same way, don't really like the oversaturated look to the devices, so I do like to have it set to something more reasonable. Now, in here we actually have advanced mode, or advanced settings, which consists of P3 gamut and also sRGB, which supposedly should be color accurate modes. Now these will be a little bit more toned down in colors, and they do actually differ quite a lot between each other. You can see this in like the tones right here and here. So yeah, this is probably a little bit too much difference. Now, that being said, I don't know how accurate these modes are. That is something that you'd need to check if you have any kind of tool to actually check the color accuracy. I don't, so I guess I'll just have to take the word of manufacturer that this is supposedly color accurate. Now, that being said, the color accurate mode right there is a little bit too desaturated for my liking, so I am gonna, let's see, standard seems to be what I would be going with. Saturated is actually a little bit even more saturated than vivid, which is surprising. Now, moving on to the control center, which is a link basically. It's going to take us to a different section in the settings. Here we have things like the show notification icons. It's just going to hide the icons right here in your status bar, and that's about it. It gives you a cleaner look to your status bar while still retaining the functionality when you pull down your notification tray. Additionally, we have also options for editing carrier name. By default, it's actually turned off, and I don't think I'm going to be able to customize this as I have no SIM card inserted, so it's not going to give me anything here. And below that we have battery indicator, which allows you to choose from 3 different options how to display battery level. Now, I personally do like the middle option, which is the default one, but maybe you want a little bit more clarity. You could select the other one, the last one, which gives you the percentage outside of the battery and makes the actual font of it a little bit bigger, making it easier to see. Now, continuing on, let's go back to the main settings page, and here we can navigate to home screen. Now, when it comes down to Xiaomi, they always come with the classic mode being enabled, which it is classic just for iPhones and not for Androids. That's an Android. So I personally do like the app drawer option, which when enabled gives you this obviously app drawer right here. Now, one thing that Xiaomi has additionally over some other devices is categories, which you can scroll through right here. Now, the enlarged text that I have enabled right now doesn't really make this any better, as you have to just scroll through. Not the best implementation, but if you choose to reduce the text size or keep it at the default, which this isn't, you will see a bit more of this text or more options at the same time, so you won't have to scroll as much as I do. Now, what this actually does is categorizes certain applications to its category, like communications. As you can see, we have communication. Now, some of them don't really fit in this category, like browser. Not really sure why browsers are in here. You probably might fit a little bit better in entertainment, but whatever. Photography, tools, news. You can also edit these, so you can add new groups, create your custom ones, edit the ones that exist. One thing that I can give you as a maybe like a tip is changing the names and maybe making your own categories that are much shorter in name, maybe just a letter, which would then allow you to fit more of them in a single visible at the same time, making this a bit better to use. Now, the reason I recommend this is because I tend to use something like a smart launcher on my phone, and just to kind of present this, when going into the categories, it has these icons at the bottom as categories, and I can just swipe through them and it's just gonna flip through all of them, and automatically the launcher categorizes these applications on its own, so I don't have to do anything extra once I install an application, apart from maybe sometimes occasionally swapping it when it's placed incorrectly. Now, moving on to the last option that I wanted to show, it's going to be the gesture navigation. So let's open up settings again, and I will be searching for it, as not necessarily sure where that was hidden, and it looks like it was under home screen and system navigation. And here we have the two different methods of navigating to our device. We have the gestures and the buttons. So we can select that. You can go through the learning process if you have never used that before, but I have, so I do know how to use it. So I'm gonna automatically enable it. And you can see it adds this bar at the bottom right here as a part of the gesture navigation. So you swipe on it quickly to go home, you swipe up and hold on the screen to go to recent applications, and you can swipe from either side to go back. Now, there's additional option for adding you this kind of more of a clean look to your device, which is hiding the full screen indicator. Well, all it does is just makes this bar right here at the bottom invisible. Something that I like to enable, as it serves no purpose. It still works the same way. You swipe up, takes you home, swipe up, takes you to recent, and swipe from either side, and you're gonna go back. Now, that being said, as you can see, there is no visual indication at the bottom, but the back gesture is still visible when you're going to be using it. So there we go. Now, with that being said, if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.